The court is in session and calls number 330390. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Joseph A. Stelly. Is that that's not even TRP. No, okay. And we have Mr. Stelly appearing via Zoom. Mr. Stelly, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Stelly, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Stelly, you may put your hand down. Mr. Stelly, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Peter Dahl. Mr. Dahl, how are you doing?
Fair, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Stelly, I have before me a document that is titled Information. In this document, it alleges that on or about March 14th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Mr. Stelly, do you understand what you've been charged with?
I do.
And to this charge, Mr. Stelly, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
I am.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Correct. I do.
Mr. Stelly, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line. The initials are JS. They are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contingere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
I did.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
The next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. At the bottom of this document, above the line that is titled defendant, there is a signature. And did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir, I did.
At the top of the same document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. First box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Stelly, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
I did.
Now, Mr. Stelly, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Dahl, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2 to probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
No
Mr. Dahl,
objection.
do you have any? No objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Dahl, you have advised and counseled Mr. Stelly. Is there any evidence that he is currently admittedly incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Mr. Stelly, your attorney, Mr. Dahl, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir, I am. Yes,
Has
sir.
he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
He has.
Mr. Stelly, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
30 days county jail. It's to run concurrently with Mr. Stelly's felony cause number 19-31258.
19-31258. Okay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Stelly, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in your case is $407. Mr. Stelly, will you be able to pay the $407?
No, sir. Maybe when I go get my job back.
Okay, now, Mr. Stelly, I have before me an affidavit of indigence that you signed, and actually, this was signed September 21st, 2021. At that time, the court found that you were indigent, and that you met the eligibility requirements for the for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. Now, in this affidavit, Mr. Stelly, your income, you had zero, and I think the only bill that you had for expenses was a $25 probation fee. Is this document still current?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Stelly, I will, based on the finding that you were indigent, the court cost in this case is going to be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of Texas Code of Criminal Procedure because the court has found that you are indigent. Now, Mr. Stelly, I'll just repeat the state's offer and the court's finding. The state is offering that you serve 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. The court cost in the case of $407 will be waived because the court has found you indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 19-31258. Mr. Stelly, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir,
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Stelly, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Stelly, this will conclude your case. The knock on the door, please follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Doyle, this will conclude your case as well.
Will I be released today?
Yes, Mr. Doyle, you're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Well, thank you, Judge, and you too.
We have D-Vote next.
You get this, ma'am?
D-Vote is next.
I do. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, right, can I send you one code blue mail? Go ahead.
Is that page 2? Okay, the court is in session in cause number 327-850. And the case is styled as State of Texas versus Elkeisha Jatan DeVault.
Yes, sir.
Ms. DeVault, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Ms. DeVault, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. DeVault, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ms. DeVault, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. DeVault?
I'm doing okay.
That's good. Ms. DeVault, you're here represented by your attorney, Alvin Samuel. Attorney Samuel, how are you doing?
Fine, sir.
Ms. DeVault, I have before me an information that alleges that, I have before me an information, Ms. DeVault, that alleges that on or about August 24th of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Ms. DeVault, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Ms. DeVault, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are
Okay.
guilty?
Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. DeVault, I have before me another document. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right. Well, this document is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. And on page 2 of this document, there are 7 initials, AD, on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next page of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Ms. Duvall, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Duvall, on the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there is also a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of the same document, there are two boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Duvall, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled misdemeanor, excuse me, that's titled discovery certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Duvall, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Samuel, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Samuel went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best
Yes.
of your knowledge? You may ask.
Yes.
She does? State. I have before me, well, State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr.
No.
Samuel?
No objections.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Samuel, you've advised in counsel, Ms. Duvall, is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Ms. Duvall, your attorney, Mr. Samuel, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Duvall, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in Mr. Duvall's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
40 days county jail. It's to run concurrently with Ms. DeVault's felony cause number 20-35436.
Okay. Ms. Duvall, the state is offering that you serve 40 days in the Jefferson County Jail. But you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case. Well, let me back up. Now, they're offering 40 days to be served in Jefferson County Jail, but you will be given credit for any time that you already spent in jail. Now, the court cost in this case is $292. Ms. Duvall, will you be able to pay the $292?
No, sir.
Now, Ms. Duvall, are you currently employed?
No, sir.
Ms. Duvall, do you receive any type of government benefits? Like, for
No.
example, Medicaid, Social Security, SSI, TANF, SNAP, or do you live in public housing?
No, sir. Neither any of those.
Okay. Now, Ms. Duvall, do you have any form of income?
No, sir. Not at the moment. No.
Okay. Now, do you have any expenses that you're required to pay? Any bills, any rent,
No,
food?
sir.
You don't have any expenses at all? Okay, so Mr. Duvall, based upon your answers, the court is going to find that you're indigent. And the court is going to waive the court costs in this case based on that finding of indigency. And now let me do this here. Now, Ms. Duvall, your felony case, you doing jail time on that case?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you'll be incarcerated for, I guess, a period of time. Is that correct? Well, an extended period of time?
Mary,
That's good.
Okay, and this here case is running, okay. So the court is gonna find that you're indigent, you're unemployed, and obviously you have no source of income, and you're not receiving any type of benefits from the government. And the court costs, in this case, is going to be waived. Now, Ms. DeVault, let me just repeat, the state is offering that you serve 40 days in Dutchess County Jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. The $292 court cost will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, because the court is making a finding that you're indigent. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 20-35436. Ms. DeVault, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Ms. DeVault, I'll follow the pre-bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Ms. DeVault, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Samuel, I think this is your only case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day as well.
Okay, thank you.